sections, what all of you mentioned are the sections that I've highlighted. It's consistently coming across in all of the presentations, and that is that it's an individual learning plan is about the individual. It's specific to their particular needs. It has to take into consideration their starting point, and it has to take into consideration their skill level. Also, it needs to tap into all of who they are. So that's every experience that makes them who they are. And that is one of the key aspects of adult learners. But it's not just adult learners. It's just that adults have a greater awareness. All learners come with something. They come with an experience that makes them them. And if we do not tap into that in the learning process, there's a whole lot we're leaving behind. And what a shame that is. It becomes a meaningless process for the learner. So part of engaging in a learner-centered way of, or a learner-centered approach, is recognizing all of who the learner is. And when you do that, another important aspect that you all mentioned is motivation. When there's something that the individual is responding to because it meets their need, that individual is motivated. So it actually doesn't matter what the reason is or the purpose is, not the purpose. It actually doesn't matter whether they're interested in developing an individual learning plan or not. And they may come to it thinking that they're not interested. But if your approach is such that it's going to tap into something that has value for them, then they're going to be motivated. But it must truly have value for them, not for you. An individual learning plan is not about you. If you're going to do it because it has to be done, you're going to have serious motivation issues because you want to have it done. They must want to have it done. So you're going to have to find that point of interest and value for them, specific to the individual. Starting point of the individual, that is critical. That is individual-centered, learner-centered, student-focused. Because if you don't establish that, then all of this is not going to have value. And they're not going to buy into the process. They're not going to participate in it. They're not going to be able to set objectives that are meaningful. If the plan reflects their need, then then your job is easy. Then all you have to do is guide them through determining what those objectives are. Help them clarify those objectives and set a framework for them that makes it measurable so that it can be achieved. It doesn't matter what it is that they want to achieve, but your role is to make sure that the milestones are put in place that's going to ensure that it's achieved, and that those milestones are measurable, but also that those milestones are realistic, that they reflect the life of the individual, so that the time frames that you set, they are achievable. You want to build that confidence. You want to build that capability to set a goal and achieve it. There is nothing more empowering than that. For an individual to say, this is what I want to do. And then what you do is guide them through the process of how to achieve that. And it's very clear that you're also very, very aware of the context or the approach that you need to take in order to guide that individual. You need to be aware of the culture that they're coming from, and how that, and again, culture, previous experience, that's all part of it. None of us learn in a vacuum, none of us. As we're sitting here today, we have brought with us all of who we are, and how you are engaging in this context is not only you sitting here, but you may have a family that you're thinking about. You may have a car that's just broken down, and just because you're sitting here, this isn't all of who you are. There's a hell of a lot that goes on around you, and that lot has a much greater impact on your ability to engage here than you physically being here. And as trainers, educators, we have to be aware of that. And if we can't tap into who our learners are, we're not going to make this experience meaningful for them. And therefore, we need to be so aware of where they're coming from, that the environment in which we are engaging with them is appropriate. Is it appropriate to have it over coffee? Is it appropriate to have it within a meeting room context? How formal can that situation be? Can that context be? How informal can that context be? It completely depends on the individual that you're working with, and it depends on the formal environment in which this is occurring. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. So your behavior in terms of how it is that you conduct that process with the individual is very important as well. The ethics that surrounds that. Quite a few of the groups spoke about being collaborative. What does that mean? Well, when you are the trainer, and this is the person being trained, does collaboration just happen at that point of the individual learning plan? Or is collaboration something of a practice that you have grown, and therefore when the individual learning plan occurs, the collaborative approach is just the normal way of doing stuff? So important that you think about what is the approach that you are taking, not only in developing that individual learning plan, but in setting up that relationship with the person that you're developing it with. The attitude of the trainer, again, are you capable as a more, let's say, a more knowledgeable peer? Are you truly capable of being collaborative? That's an introspective question that you need to ask yourself, because collaboration demands respect for the knowledge that the other person has. And if you see yourself as a teacher or a trainer with more knowledge than the other person, there's no respect there. But if you see yourself as a teacher or a trainer with a particular kind of knowledge, and the person whom you are working with a particular kind of knowledge, there's a mutual value of the knowledge that you have. And if you have that respectful relationship, the individual will experience it as such, and therefore you will create a context in which there can be collaboration, and in which there can be mutual respect, and in which there can be meaningful support and feedback. Because you can also only have that if you have a meaningful collaborative context that you've created. But absolutely key is that this is a plan for the individual, and that your role is to guide and support and put the processes in place to ensure the achievement of that individual learning plan for that individual. Now, having summarized what it is that you've come up with and adding my bits into it, what I'd like to know, have any of you ever developed a plan for yourself? Wow. You are like me. To be quite honest, I've never done it either. Yeah? I'm only begun to do it when I knew that I had to deliver this workshop. So I developed a plan for myself. And I'm running a marathon on the 14th of December. Believe it or not, until I was going to do this workshop, I didn't even have a plan. I just go and run. And then I thought, okay, I better put a plan together. So what you're going to do today is exactly that. You're going to develop an individual learning plan. Now, why am I taking that approach? Actually, two questions. One, all of the information that you've come up here, not all of it, some of it is in this workbook, is in the study guide.